Hey guys, this week we are going to talk about letters and letter formats. There are two main types of letters that we are going to talk about and the difference between those two. The first type of letter that we are going to talk about is a personal business letter. Okay, a personal business letter is from an individual to a business. Okay. A business letter is the other type of letter that we are going to talk about, and a business letter is from a business or organization to an individual or another business. Okay, that is the biggest difference between these two types of letters. The other difference that you'll notice between these two types of letters is that a business letter, which is from a business, is usually typed on a letterhead. Okay? A letterhead consists of the business's name, address, contact information, and their logo. Now we're going to talk about the major parts of a letter. Return address. This is the address of the person writing the letter. Okay? Also, if the person is a business, if the letter's from a business letter, then the return address is the letterhead. Okay? The date line, which is the current date. The letter address or the inside address. This is the address of the person receiving the letter. Okay? These two are often confused. The return address and the letter address. The return address is who it's from, and the letter address is who it's to. Alright? Then you have the salutation. This is the greeting, so dear sir or madam. The body, which is the message of the letter. The complimentary close, this is how you end the letter. So, for example, sincerely yours or best regards. And then you have the keyed name. This is the author's typed name. So whoever the letter is from, this is their name that is typed on the letter. And then the last part is the typist initials. The typist initials are initials of the person that is typing the letter. If the letter is keyed by like a secretary or someone other than the author, there will be typist initials. We don't see this too often because most of the letters are actually from typed by the person that they are from. But just know that is a part of a letter, of a business letter, excuse me. Formatting a letter. There's a certain way to format a business letter. Oops, went too far. Margins. The margins are the blank spaces around the document, so on the top, the right, left, and bottom. And typically for a business letter, the top margin is 2 inches. So there's 2 inches of blank space up here, and I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. The right, bottom, and left margins are all 1 inch. Okay. Business letters are typed in block style. We've talked about block style last week and the week before. And block style, remember, is where all parts of the letter are aligned to the left margin. Okay. There are no indentations. This is an example of a block style letter. You have your top 2 inch margin. You have your address, your date line, your letter address. Remember, the return address is who it's from, and the letter address is who it's to. And we can tell this is a personal business letter because there's not a letterhead, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's just a return address. You have your salutation, your body, which is all aligned to the left, block style. And then you have your complementary close, and then other notations at the bottom. DS and QS stand for double space and quadruple space. Punctuation styles. There are two major punctuation styles that most business letters use. And those are open punctuation and mixed punctuation. Open punctuation is when there is not a colon or comma in the salutation or the complementary close. Okay, so your example, Dear Miss Smith, there's no comma or colon here. And then sincerely yours, of course this would be at the bottom, this would be at the top. But sincerely yours, there's no comma or colon here. That is open punctuation. Mixed punctuation is where there is a colon in the salutation and a comma in the after the complementary close. So here's your example, Dear Miss Smith, colon, and then sincerely yours, comma. Okay, and again, the salutation would be towards the top and the complementary close would be at the bottom. Here's an example of a personal business letter with mixed punctuation. Okay, you have your colon here after your salutation, Dear Mr. Wilson, colon. You have your body, and then you have sincerely, comma. So you have the colon and the comma. That's a mixed punctuation. Now you have a business letter with open punctuation. Okay, now we know this is a business letter and not a personal business letter because as you can see at the top there's a letterhead, okay, giving the business name, address, and phone number. Taylor Realty, that's the business, their address and their phone number. And then if they have like a logo or something, that might be up here next to their contact information. But that is a letterhead, an example of a letterhead. Alright, open punctuation, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, there's no colon or comma after the after the salutation. And then at the bottom, sincerely, there is no comma next to the complementary close. So that is an example of open punctuation. Oops, I might have went too fast for you. Let me just go back for just a minute in case you guys want to visit this again so you can read this. Okay. Special letter parts. These are letter parts that are not always on a business letter. They are used in special circumstances. Okay. The typist initials, these are when, these are used when someone other than the author types the letter. Okay. So for example, if someone, if a secretary was keying or typing the letter for their boss, they would use their initials, and that would be the typist initials. Okay. Then we are going to talk about, and sorry, my internet I think glitched, so I gotta find my place again. The enclosure notation. Okay. The enclosure notation is used when additional items are included in the envelope with the letter. Alright, so if like a map or a receipt or something were included with a letter, with a business letter in the envelope, then there would be an enclosure notation on the bottom of the letter to let you know that there are additional items for you to look at. The attachment notation is very similar to the enclosure notation. The difference is that the attachment notation is used when additional items are actually clipped or stapled to the letter. So they are actually attached to the letter. And then the copy notation, this is used when a copy of the letter is sent to someone else as well, to the person who it was originally sent to. So for example, if the principal sent a letter to their teachers, and there were a copy notation at the bottom of the letter indicating that the letter was also copied to the parents, then that would show the teacher, who is the original recipient, that the letter is also was also sent to the parents as well. So this is an example of a letter with special letter parts. Okay. You have your typist initials down here, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's down here, this LS. All right, it's underneath the author's typed name, Robert Kimball. And remember, these notations of DS and QS, these wouldn't be on the letter. These are just showing you the line spacing. Okay, quadruple space is QS, DS is double space. All right, so here's typist initials. Enclosure notation right here, enclosures, damage claim, and photographs. So whatever a damage claim is and photographs, pictures, are included with this letter. And then a copy notation down here at the bottom. This shows that Miss Allison Hayes has been copied. So whoever Allison Hayes is, they received a copy. And it's indicated by just a simple C at the bottom. All right. So these are notes to remember: the difference between a personal business letter and a business letter. Business letters are typed in block format. And then typist initials are used when someone other than the author is typing the letter. Enclosure and attachment notations and copy notations appear below the typist's initials, if there is a typist. All right, so all you guys have to do after this is complete the exit ticket that is attached in Canvas, that's linked in Canvas. Please feel free to come back and visit any part of this video that you need to in order to complete that exit ticket. Have a great week.